So my name is Diego Vazquez. I'm a research manager and senior research associate at BRAS, and my stream of research is responsible management thinking. In that area of research, we look into topics such as corporate social responsibility, the impact of companies on sustainability and the vulnerability of poorer populations, and conflict and governance issues around the industries, particularly in the context of operations of foreign companies in developing countries. I'm actually just finishing work in three main projects. One of them is about conflict in the mining industry, and we are looking at cases basically in Argentina around gold mining and also in Ghana around small-scale mining. And this is with my colleague Natalia Yakovleva. The second stream of research, it looks at how can we facilitate sustainable innovation. And we look particularly at the effects of collaboration and partnerships to create new and innovative ideas to address the challenge of sustainability. And in that sense, well, we have just published a book, edited book, with colleagues in the USA, who is part of the visiting scholar programs in BRAS. And we are now developing a follow-up, which is based more in investigating what is new in the South. So how can collaboration can be achieved empowering the role of partners in developing countries? And this is particularly focused on cross-border collaborations. And finally, the third stream of research looks at how business can be more aware of the impacts that they are producing in vulnerable populations, and what kind of solutions can be implemented to improve the role. And the first stage of that research is a multi-stakeholder project involving universities in Spain and Brazil, Argentina, Bolivia, and Venezuela. And our first stage was mapping areas in which that we call hotspots, areas in which you have high environmental threats produced by industry, such as pollution, water, air pollution, waste, but also you have vulnerable populations, either because they are poor or because they don't have resources or infrastructure, and therefore are not able to adapt and resist to the threats produced by industry. So we call those areas hotspots, and within those are urgent intervention areas. So the first stage of that research was to map in Argentina, Bolivia, and Spain areas where we have highly vulnerable population exposed to high environmental threats. And we have produced a series of maps which are going to be collected in a book which is going to be published next year. And what is new about this research is that we are focusing on accumulated impacts of all kinds of industries, not only big and very noticeable large multinationals, but also small companies. Companies like gas stations or coating companies who use painting or who use chemicals, who are also very dangerous for the health of the populations, but because they are very small, they are not noticeable, and therefore they are not targeted by regulators. So our mapping uses a GIS, Geographical Information System tool, to accumulate all the impacts of small industries and create areas in which populations are under accumulated risk. And then we see whether those risks are more accumulated in areas where there are vulnerable populations or not.